What is good, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to another episode of the ParablePreacher podcast.
Whoop, whoop.
I'm juiced, bro.
Right?
I'm juiced. I'm the host and creator, Jordan, and today with us we have...
What's up, guys? It's your boy Blake. We're back at it again with another episode.
Yes, sir.
Let's get this.
I'm juiced, bro. This topic's about to be heat, dog.
It's gonna make you guys cry. No lie.
It might. So before we get started, y'all, we're gonna go ahead and and hit that disclaimer. So Blake and I are not ordained ministers. We're not Bible scholars or anything of the sort. We're two ministers in training. We have I would say a good amount of knowledge.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah? Okay.
Still learning.
I mean, if you're not learning, you're doing something wrong.
No, that's
Truth be
fair.
told.
That's fair.
You need to always, to me, you should always be learning. Like, in the Bible, in the world, all these kind of things. You know what I mean? You got to be getting that knowledge.
Yeah, you don't want to be caught with a dunce in your head. You do not want that.
But we're not Bible scholars. Like I was saying, we're two ministers in training. Good amount of knowledge, decent amount. We growing, but and we just want to share that with the world. The goal is not to modernize the Bible. No. It's to bring our modern day trials and tribulations to God and to the Bible, so we can get that biblical application for our day-to-day lives.
Yes, sir. Because the Bible has all the knowledge we need.
It really does, man.
It does. It's the playbook for life.
It's legit. Any question you have, Bible.
For the most part, yeah.
Actually,
I won't say for the most part. Probably for everything.
Yeah.
I haven't ran into anything where I couldn't find something in the Bible that had some information about that. I could be like, okay, no, that's reasonable.
I'm trying to think about it. Maybe. No. It's the playbook.
Yeah. So it might be the actual cheat codes for our life.
I think so. I genuinely do think so. So before we get into the topic today, just to let y'all know, is gonna be self-hate.
Oh, I ain't ready for this.
What happens when we hate ourselves? How to deal with self-hate too, as well. We're gonna get into a lot of good topics. I'm ready for it. But how you doing, man? Spiritually, scale of 1 to 10.
Oh, spiritually, we are at a 9.5 right now.
Oh,
9.5.
Okay.
Only reason, I've been in my book a lot. I've been in the Word a lot, just studying different topics that just interest me, but that's also good for my spirit. And then also I'm studying with someone else on the side very often. So, yeah, we're keeping each other accountable and everything.
Nice,
so then just knowing that knowledge pretty good. We're gaining so much to keep ourselves accountable and just staying strong, and then just praying a lot too. I've been trying to get in the habit of praying for others, not just myself all the time.
Fair.
Feel like when you're praying for others, it just makes the prayers a lot more sincere, and I feel like you just become more open to God because you're asking about other people besides just yourself. It's not an A and B conversation. You're adding the other alphabets, the letters, into the conversation. So really good stuff, man. Okay, good.
Yeah. That's the highest it's been in a minute, right?
Yes.
Okay, good. I was honestly surprised. Not I expect you to be doing bad or anything like that, but I think our average before recently had been a 6.
Yeah.
6.5. 7 max. You know what I'm saying? Because we hadn't been in the book. But it's good that you're at that. You said 9.5?
Yeah, man. I can't even say 10 though, because at that point I feel like I should just be ascending by that point. If I'm at 10.
Yeah, Enoch.
Just Enoch. Just don't experience death. Just be gone.
Well, what did the Bible say about him? He didn't know death or something like that?
Yeah, he was just taken, and he didn't get to experience death. And I'm like, and for those of you guys who are watching, listening, we always talk about Enoch a lot though, because that story is so short, and there's no saying of how you live. You lived a faithful life though, but I was like, okay, but what would that look like? What steps did he take? Because I need to take his steps.
It says he walked with God.
Yeah.
So I think every step he took was in God. Everything he thought about God before he did anything. That's the only thing I can think of, bro. If you're walking with a God, not one misstep. That's what I'm thinking. You know what I'm saying?
But for how long though? Because I don't even think they said how old he was or nothing either though. And
I think it did. I think it said he lived 134. Maybe something like that. I'm gonna give our editor the scripture. She's gonna put it right there for us. But I think he did say I think it said 134 or something, bro.
That's crazy. So in order for me to ascend that way, I had to live to 134 years.
I think
don't ask
I think you just gotta be walking with God no matter what. That's what it said, bro.
So each step, I'm like, oh, thank you, Lord. Oh, thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. Oh, thank you so much. Okay, all jokes aside, though, but like, that's a real tough thing to do, just to live righteously 100%, to the point like God recognizes you, like, oh, you're doing so well, I'm gonna bring you up to heaven. You won't experience like the normal death on earth. And the crazy thing, you don't hear people talk about that much in the church though, either though. And I'm like, does that not like catch anyone's eye or put my pause like, hold on, what was so special about this man that he didn't experience death though, and everyone else in the Bible who were faithful or did some like awesome things, like Paul,
Peter,
like any apostles that like lived and died for the church and stuff, and they had some horrific deaths physically.
John was like, it says that was like Jesus' like best friend.
Yeah, man.
And he still passed. I mean, he still died, bro. So what was Enoch doing?
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, walking with God, like, this man must have did something special. Like, did this man do like some like great like burnt offering or something? Like, was that calf that good? Like, I need to know, man. I need to know.
It reminds me of these J. Cole lyrics, dedication to on another level you ain't never seen in your life.
That's what I'm saying.
Like, you know what I mean? Like,
I mean, it has to be to the point they can't record like all his steps though. You just get that small description of like who he was, what he did, his age, and that he just didn't experience death, and that was it.
Yeah, it's crazy, bro. It's crazy. But no, that's good, man. That's good though. Congratulations on that 9, bro. 9.5, man. Thank you. You're welcome. I don't know why I said thank you, and you're welcome.
So humble.
I'm about spiritually about a 7 right now. 7.
Okay. That's higher than last time.
I think it is. I think I'm getting better, bro. You know what? I'm gonna go 7.5. 7. Yeah, 7.5. 7.5.
Okay.
Been in the Word more. Been praying a whole bunch, bro.
That's good, man.
And all the my missteps, like the sins I usually fall for, or the temptations that usually get me, I've been good on because I've been praying a lot more. You know what I'm saying?
That's good.
So
man.
I think that's why I would say I'm at a 7, or 7.5 stamped. 7.5. The extra steps would be or the extra 2.5 would be if I'm reading the Bible more. Because my prayer game's been on point, bro. Like good, on man. Point. Dog, I was driving earlier. I'm working on my anger, dog. I can't help it, bro. I was so mad. There was this lady in front of me driving so slow, right? And then she was driving like swerving in and out of traffic and stuff. Like, I'm like, bro, what are you doing?
Wait, when was this today, or was like?
It was today. Yeah.
I was say, we had earthquakes and stuff that
I heard yesterday. Last night, like 7 o'clock.
Yeah, right? It happened to me when I was driving around a little bit. And
sheesh.
I was like driving like straight in the road, but somehow my car kept going and swerving different lanes. I was like, what is going on here? And I was like, is my alignment messed up? I was like, I just got my alignment done. I was like, bro, don't let me take this car back to the shop. We're gonna have a problem real quick.
And that friend that recommended you, like, Come on, dog. What you doing, dog?
Where's my life out here? I was like, I don't need help with that, bro. I can do it myself. Like,
dang, that's crazy. Yeah. Were you scared?
Nah.
Oh, really?
Nah, not really.
Okay.
But it was just like, okay, so this is happening right now, but let's go ahead and just, get back in our lane and chill.
Okay.
So, luckily I didn't have no cars around me, too. Like, they were too far away for me to be, like, worried. So I was like, okay. I'm fine.
Dang. Yeah, man. I'm glad you're okay. That's crazy.
Oh, yeah. The Lord was with me that day for sure.
Oh, for sure. But nah, it had nothing to do with that earthquake. She was just driving reckless, dog. So I get in front of her. I'm like, Grandma, dog, come on.
Not Grandma.
I was like, Grandma, man. Like, I was livid, bro. But I was like, I wasn't like saying anything bad or anything that like could be considered sinful. You know what I'm saying? Just mad at a person who's driving reckless because that's endangering my life. You know what I'm saying? So I'm good, bro. I'm good.
Well, that's good.
So yeah, dude. I think I'm good right now.
Okay. Yeah. That's good.
Okay.
I gotta ask though, was she driving a Prius?
No.
Oh, that's a first.
No.
Usually not a Prius.
Not a Prius. Or what do we call it? The box?
The box.
None of that. I don't know what kind of car. I'm not good at like remembering cars or anything like that.
That's fair.
I want to say it was like a Honda or something like that. Yeah, it was like a Honda.
They're solid cars though, but the only good is the driver. The driver ain't good. The car no good.
No, for real. Oh
They could have a Tesla. If that person's driving bad, they're like, bro, that ain't no better than one of them other cars.
I don't trust people who drive Teslas. Like, not in that way.
But we know someone who drives a Tesla.
I was just about to say, like, I mean, like, in the way, like, they drive fast, dog. Like, kind of borderline reckless sometimes.
Oh, yeah, because it's Tesla, bro.
That's what I'm saying, dog.
And then they can put in the machine. They're like, oh, it was the machine. Like, it was guy that driving me. Did it itself, bro. Like, it wasn't me. It's like, huh, yeah. I mean, what can you say to that? It's like, that's a feature on Tesla. So, I mean,
I don't know, man. But, yeah. That just had me gone, bro. But, so let's get this topic, dog.
All right, let's get it.
So self-hate. Before we like delve into it, I have a question for you, dog.
Okay.
Has there ever been a time within your life that you have not felt like confident, borderline hateful of yourself and who you are?
Okay, that's man, we just come with the uppercuts already, bro. All right. I'm trying to think. So the one time I would say I probably hated myself for something like I've done or whatever. It's probably the only times I felt that was when I was like in school.
Okay.
A lot, because there'd be sometimes like I procrastinate, whatever, and obviously any college student could like, or just any student who's been in school, which we all could relate. At some point, we would procrastinate on some assignments. Either you do it at the last minute or whatever, and then you get the grade you get, and you're like, man, like I should have got an A. I put a lot of work into it. When literally you did the night before it was supposed to be due. Yeah. When you had like maybe like 2 or 3 weeks. You want an A, but it's like, did you really do the work of an A, or did you really just cram as much as you can? You felt you should have got A because you put so much work the night before, but if you actually put the time and diligent effort over time, you would get the A. You wouldn't have been feeling as bad as you are now. So there have been a few times like that. I hated myself for that because I'm like, dang, man, like you had all this time instead of playing those video games, going out with friends, seeing the newest movie, wherever, which was still go be there the next day. You could have just did the homework, got the grade better than what you got, whatever, and you wouldn't be upset and mad at yourself because you took the right steps. So it'd be like stuff like that for school, or just knowing like I could have took better steps to certain actions.
Fair. Okay. How did you get past that?
I never did. I'm just joking.
I still hate myself.
Right. Nah, for myself, I have to keep reminding myself that I'm human. As humans, we're not perfect. We're gonna make mistakes, and I think one of the things as we as people learn to do as we're growing up is just accepting that sometimes, knowing that hey, you're gonna make mistakes in your life. You're like each day is an opportunity to learn something.
Fair.
Like you were saying, like we gotta keep learning. You can't stop learning.
Yeah.
So every day is an opportunity to learn, but also being aware that hey, if you make mistakes, depending on how big or small it is, whatever, hopefully it's nothing that's gonna be detrimental to the rest of your life. But be mindful that the mistakes you make is an opportunity for you to do better, and just know you're gonna make the mistakes constantly. That the mistakes are always gonna come in our life, and not just. Don't be holding yourself too high of a pedestal often, because the higher you hold yourself up, the harder you're going to fall when you make those mistakes. And
that's true.
I held myself up pretty high for a long, long time. And like when I mess up, I'll just be like down the dumps, dude. Like I'll be like, man, I can't believe I messed up. Like I think there was one situation I got mad at one of my friends one time. Like I got so mad, I literally almost cursed him out. Actually, no, I didn't. I did curse him out. And like, and like after I got done, I was like, I'm sorry. And they be like, bro, what? I'm like, I saw red. You made me mad. Why did you do that and say that at the same time? And then you knew how I felt about. Yeah, it was just, like high school or whatever.
Yeah.
You emotions are just going up and down on any given day, depending on the situation.
Hormones.
So. Yeah, well, I guess so.
What did they say?
I don't even remember, bro. That's
the crazy part.
Yeah, it's not even that important, bro. It was like literally that day. I forgot what it was about though, but I remember just feeling so bad for doing that to like that friend of mine, because like me and my friend were close, and I'm just like, dang, like I didn't need to go off on them like that. Like that didn't make no type of sense. Like. I remember I almost hated myself for it though, because I was like, hey, dude, I can't even go sit at the lunch table with them no more. I felt all kinds of bad. And like, I remember I wasn't trying to talk to them for like a couple of days, and then they found me. They're like, yo, dude, like, come sit with us, hang out. And I was like, bro, like, I feel like trash right now, man. Like, cause I felt bad for what I did. They're like, dude, it's like, you only apologize for it. I forgave you. Like, come on. It's like, let's go over and just hang out. And I'm like, okay.
And I think that's the hard part is, and that's why self-hate is so deep, because it's the forgiveness of yourself
Yes.
for your flaws that is the hardest, one of the hardest parts about it. You know what I mean? Is like you were saying, knowing you're human and that you're going to make mistakes. Like you said, like you know, you messed up with your friend. He had moved on, but you couldn't forgive yourself.
Yeah.
So it created this disdain and this hatred of yourself from within. You know what I mean? Even though they had forgotten about it, they had already forgiven you after you asked for forgiveness.
Yeah.
But you were like, dang, I can't make mistakes like that. And honestly, bro, I think that's what happens when, I think sometimes when we take the Bible too seriously. And not by that, I mean when we forget that God forgives us as well. Let me phrase it like that.
Yes.
Because we have the opportunity of repentance. And that's why Jesus died on the cross, right? However, it's when we forget that we are able to have that repentance, when God is a forgiving God, that we're just thinking fire and brimstone, hell on, like you're going to hell because you did this. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
When we constantly think like that, and not that you can take religion or God too seriously, because it's, you know, it's eternity that's at stake, right? Yeah. However, once you remember that, again, you're gonna get forgiven once you ask for forgiveness, like what happened with you, and then you change. Because that's the first time I ever heard of that story. I'm pretty sure we've gotten mad at each other a couple times, right? Yeah. But you ain't never cursed at me or done nothing like that. The worst you do is like, whatever, dog.
I yelled at you one time though. I did one time. Yeah. But I didn't curse you out though. I did yell at you one time. That was it. I even felt bad at that time for it then. Well, next day probably. Next day.
Not that night.
Yeah, not that night though. Next day for sure.
Bro, you were so mad at me, dog. What was that? 2 years ago now, right?
Yeah.
Valid though.
Oh,
Valid though.
Yeah, I don't know what's funny. I don't want to go in that story.
Dog, I felt the same way. I was so mad at, because there's a couple people involved in that, right? I was mad at the person that caused it or caused it, you know what I'm saying, without communicating it to me, so I couldn't communicate it to you. So I was mad at them. I was mad at myself. I'm like, he told me he needed to be home by a certain time, that he needed to get some work done, and he's putting his grades on the line for, you know what I'm saying, for hanging out, being a good friend to us, right? I was mad at myself, dog. I was like, come on, Jay, get it.
Hey, you know the worst part about it though, which is I find this funny now, it's like I'm over getting upset and like angry about my grade. Like my grade wasn't even on the line. Like, bro, I had 4.0, 100% in the class, and like literally missing an assignment would probably drop my grade by like 20 points. That's nothing.
Okay.
Because I literally just one
like
small
in the grand
assignment.
scheme of things.
No.
So you're saying you could have still had that A, probably more than likely. Yeah, but you were taking it seriously though.
I was,
and there's
man.
nothing wrong with that.
I'll put my blood, sweat, and tears into that.
You really were. Like, I think literally all three. I'm sure at some point.
Pretty much.
So, and I knew that, bro. That's
man.
why I was so upset, dog. I was so upset with myself, bro. So I understand what you're saying,
Yeah.
but once I asked, I'm like, I'm sorry, man. You're like, That's how mad you were.
I know, bro.
Said,
I know. Horrible.
But on the ride back, we were able to laugh and kick.
Oh no, we were.
I could tell like there was that underlining like heat, bro. It was like rising from this man, dog.
It was like it had to get out real quick, and then like let it cool for like 5 or 10 minutes, play a couple songs, let a couple songs go by, and then we're like, all right, hey, bro, better one time.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's exactly what happened. But
Plus, it was a long drive too, bro. We couldn't do the drive.
Dog, if he was mad the whole time, like that would have taken like a lot within yourself. Because I don't know how people could be mad for like a long period of time. You know what I'm saying? Especially when it's just them in the car, or you know what I mean?
Yeah, man.
I could be mad for like maybe 30 minutes, maybe depending on what happened. Like I could be mad for a minute, bro. But for me, I need to get it out. Like,
Yeah.
I need to talk it through. You know what I'm saying? So.
Oh yeah.
I don't know how people can do that though.
I think, well, like we were saying, like, it takes like depends on what it is.
Yeah.
But I think it too depends on what time of day it may happen too. Because
Fair.
something could happen in the morning, may not be that bad though, and you'd be mad maybe like that morning. But by the rest of the day, you're good. It could be something that happens midday, you're angry through the night.
Yeah.
Or it could be something that happens at night, right before you go to bed, and you're upset to the point you can't even sleep, and then you're even more cranky upset because you didn't even sleep. Because you're constantly thinking about it over and over again. You're like, I can't believe that dude. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's definitely a few factors for sure. And then I feel like the worst time is at nighttime because it's like not only losing your sleep, but then like there's no one to talk to because it's nighttime. Unless you have some night out friends, but you can't talk to anyone about it. I mean, except God, but even sometimes you just want to have a physical person to dial it back.
And there's nothing wrong with that, by the way. Nothing wrong with wanting someone to talk to physically, like in person.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, that's so wild, man. Yeah. And I think even the Bible says something like that too, like don't let your anger like fester or something like that though.
Don't let the sun go down on your wrath.
That one too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
it might be a couple.
Yeah, it might be a couple
of them. It's a big book. So.
Yeah. No, that's definitely true. But yeah, that anger, man, is definitely something like we were meant to have it, use it, but don't let it linger on us.
Yeah.
It's supposed to just wash over us, like a quick wash over us, most of our emotions. But sometimes it washes over, and then we be like, Psh, hold on here, I'm gonna hold on to this for a sec, you know.
I'm about to do some bad stuff with this anger too, bro. Everybody's getting it. You ain't do nothing to me. Hello, don't say hi to me. I don't know you. Like,
oh no,
dog. It's yeah. But I think that also has to do with self-hate too. Like it can become an anger, or like an angry kind of thing. You know what I'm saying? Because you are mad at yourself for messing up, or there's so much to it. And I want to talk about a couple of things that has to do with self-hate, bro. I want this episode I want this to get good. But just focusing on the anger just real quick.
Okay.
I think once you mess up, like with both of our situations, we messed up with friends, right? Like not like we just messed up with friends. We did something that hurt them, and then you're upset with yourself. You're angry with yourself. It can be angry, like where you're like, dang it, man, I'm better than this, dude. You know what I mean? Like God didn't put me. Like that's an easy mistake. Like why'd I fall for that kind of thing? You know what I mean? Or if you're like sinning, bro, like sex before marriage is a big one to me. Or lust of the flesh, dog. Like, to keep it a buck with y'all, like. There have been times where I have messed up and went on some sites or did something like that, you know what I mean? And then afterwards, I'm like, no, why?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's the part about it. They say sin is it'll make you stay longer than you're willing to stay. It'll make you pay more than willing to pay. And there's a third one I can never remember. It'll take more than you're willing to give. I don't know. That might
I think it was something like that. Yeah.
But it affects you, man. It can make you hate yourself because you know better, right? We all know we're not supposed to be doing porn. Like first of all, you ain't supposed to be doing no porn. But
not doing it and not watching it.
So
looking at you, people doing OnlyFans.
We gotta have to talk about OnlyFans one time, dog. Like not even right now, but
not right now. Not today. They ain't ready for that.
I'm
not ready for that.
Thing I was just about to say. I don't know if I'm ready for that. Sheesh.
I just said up for the record, I've never gone to the site, let alone even watched anything. I know people I follow who subscribe to it and have it, but I'm like, y'all, please cut that.
Okay. So, dang, we're never gonna talk about it. I was about to ask you some questions about it.
Offline.
Have we ever talked about lust? We have talked about lust, but we haven't talked about OnlyFans.
Yeah.
We might talk about that in relationships.
Yeah.
How porn can like affect your relationship.
Oh yeah. We'll definitely talk about that.
Yeah, that'll be another subject.
Future episode.
Yes, sir. But what were we talking about? The anger within, like you know. So you're not supposed to be looking at porn, right? It says if you look at a woman lustfully, there's literally no way to look at porn without lust, dog. Like
there's no way.
Like there's no way. And if you know, comment down below, and I will debate you on this. And if you know a way, let's talk about it, because I've never heard of someone successfully arguing you can watch porn.
Yeah.
And biblically sound, you know what I'm saying? Because you can argue anything, but biblically sound. So it's okay. You get mad at yourself afterwards, right? And I think, dog, I'm gonna say 90% of people have done it. So there have been times where I would hate myself for that. I'm like, come on, Jay, like you're better than this, dude. And I think you need to let that anger wash over you.
Yep.
Because everyone sins and falls short of the kingdom of heaven. You know what I mean? And that's why Jesus came down.
Yep.
Because you're gonna mess up. You messed up today. You messed up yesterday. You're gonna mess up tomorrow. You're not Enoch. You know what I mean?
We all want to be him, though.
Oh, for sure. And that's okay. That's okay.
Yeah.
But you can't let it get to the part where you start hating yourself. Because God doesn't hate you. God loves you, and He wants you to come to Him. You know what I mean? You're going to make mistakes, but that makes us better. Like the Apostle Paul, dude. Like, I love talking about Paul so much because he was literally killing Christians, bro. He was out here killing dogs.
Killing Christians, burning down churches, cursing God on a daily.
Was he cursing God?
I mean,
essentially,
I'm just throwing it in there.
Yeah.
I'm not even sure that's like even thing in there, but I mean, at this point, if he's killing Christians, like I'm sure you're doing all the latter of everything else. It's just not recorded properly.
Like it's so much stuff he was doing, and then he turned his life around. You know what I mean?
After God's intervention, for sure. Though.
Exactly. So why are you getting why are you hating yourself for that? Mm-hmm. But I think there's other reasons why people hate themselves. So I'm about to get deep with this one, bro.
Here we go.
Have you ever hated yourself for physical qualities? Or like anything like that, like your appearance.
Wow.
And I do have a follow up depending on your answer.
Go ahead.
You know what? Go ahead.
Oh, so you gonna give the double whammy right now? Don't do this for me. we get the first answer up.
Yeah,
so definitely for sure. As a kid, I hated my body for a long time because I was always the bigger kid in the class.
Okay.
Not always like the fattest kid, but like the tallest sometimes. And then even at one point, I was like probably one of the chubbier kids. And like there'd be some dude that's probably bigger than me though, but like for some reason I was picked on. And like because I was picked on, it made me hate myself for like the way my body looked. I'm like, well, dang, like I shouldn't. And like after a while, I was like, dang, why am I hating myself though? I shouldn't have to hate myself just because of what someone else thinks though. It's like I'm happy in my own skin. There's some things I can't change about myself. Like literally, I hate the fact I don't have hair on my head. Like,
oh really?
Oh yeah.
You've
like,
never said that.
I mean, because it's not a big thing though. It's stuff that it's like in the back of my mind. I'm like, man, I kind of hate the fact I don't have hair. But at the same time, I'm like, hey, I look fine with no hair. Like it's no big deal. And like it took me at least a good year to get over that. Like officially. Like I used to hate that back in the day.
Okay.
And so, because for those of you guys who know me personally, there was a good while, at least in high school, I had a huge afro. Love that afro. That was my crown. But yeah, I had a crown. That thing was immaculate. And then like my second year of college, there was that little bald spot right there. I was like, wait a minute, why does it look a little extra thin here? And I was like, told the barber, he's like, yeah, me want to shape it up, bro? I was like, nah, bro, we're just gonna cut it all off. He's like, wait, what? And I was like, yeah, just cut it off, bro. I got that little bald spot. We ain't trying to fight it, bro. It's just letting it just do its course. We're just gonna accelerate it. So you know, I had to do the accelerator move real quick. But just going to the origin of that self-hate though, on just those few things, I felt it was more of an outside force that and like planted that seed in my mind.
Okay.
And then as it kept happening over and over again, it kept getting watered.
Yeah.
And like started growing in me to make me think like, oh, because I'm getting picked up for being fat, I need to hate myself for being fat. And so I was like, I need to go to the gym and get rid of this fat so I can start loving myself more. And even right now, I'm not the smallest guy, but I'm not the biggest guy, but I'm happy with myself now. Like I'm thankful and like glad with like the way I look now. So you know, it is what it is.
So
let's get this next question.
No. How did you overcome that? The body image part.
The body image?
Yeah, like what? Because again, there are people who are suffering from body dysmorphia. People who have been picked on, like you were saying, and even after going to the gym, bro, like I think it takes more than just fixing the outward appearance because it's so indoctrinated within you at this point. You've heard it so often. You're fat, you're stupid, ugly, whatever it is, right? You know what I mean? For you, you were saying that people are picking on you because you're fat, and it's so indoctrinated within you that it's in you now. It is who you are. It's in the way you think now. So I think no matter how, like again, from the outside looking in, and from what I've gone through, no matter how you fix your body, it doesn't matter at that point because you need to fix it from within. You know what I mean? So how did you do that?
So, not gonna lie, I didn't pray enough at the time as much as I did, but the biggest aspect that helped me at least mentally get over it were two things: the gym, and for someone who actually cared about me. Outside my family or my friends. So it took some woman, which I will not name, but like in my life to kind of just like, hey, like Blake, you got to understand, like you are a handsome, beautiful being. Like God made you a certain way. You're beautiful. Accept that. Learn to accept that, because I accept that you are a beautiful being. Like I care for you. And just hearing that, I don't know, it just felt like it just lifted a weight off of me, and just made me think like, wow, like she's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I am beautiful.
Yeah.
Like, I am handsome. Like, I'm God's creation. Like, humans, we are God's greatest creations. Like,
exactly.
I'm beautiful no matter what I look like. I'm proud of what I look like, you know? I'm proud of who I am.
Yeah.
For sure. So it definitely took that. And then over time it took some prayer too, but yeah.
Okay.
Definitely accepted that. So I was like, okay, that's what really got me over was love.
Okay. That's good. Okay, so before we get into my other question, I'll go ahead and for myself, I've experienced stuff like that too, where I just hated myself, like you were saying with school. You know what I mean? It was mainly I thought I was like, one, I thought I was ugly, bro. Like for the longest amount of time, like I don't know. I just thought I was ugly because I got made fun of a lot, or I had a self-image problem, especially with my skin. And we'll get into that. We'll get into that in a second. But for a long time, bro. You know what? We're gonna get into now. Freak it.
Here we go.
So for the longest amount of time, and I'm dark skinned. I'm darker skinned, right? There would be so many times, bro, where we would turn out the lights in class, dog.
Oh no.
Where's that light coming from?
Somewhere up yonder.
Oh, that's fine. But there would be so many times in class where we would turn off the lights, and they'd be like, "Where'd Jordan go? Where'd Jordan go?" And dog, this is the worst one. So you remember I had bad allergies. You're about to start crying.
Oh, no.
Remember I had bad allergies. My eyes would be red. You just call me Red Eyes Black Dragon, bro.
Wait.
Red Eyes Black Dragon, my guy.
Oh no.
That one hurt, dog.
They called him the Yu-Gi-Oh card. And bro, that wasn't one of the best ones neither. Oh no.
That would hurt, bro. That one would hurt back in the day, bro. This elementary kids are so mean, dog.
Oh, they're so creative at the same time. I promise you, like any comedian, they would tell you like they go to their kids about like some stuff for skits. Like, bro, I heard I gotta tell you this one. The worst one I probably heard though, especially like for our skin tone when the lights go out or whatever. It's like, oh, who's that unlockable character?
Oh, yeah, I've heard that one too.
I was like,
shut up, you look unlocked, bro. You know what I mean?
it's like, bro, you look at basics over your basic stats. Get out of here, trying to throw something. You try to clap back so quick though. You're like, damn, but that was actually kind of good because you ain't trying to laugh.
Yeah,
you hurting. But at the same time, you're like, I'm gonna hurt him. I'm gonna hurt some bitch. I'm gonna make him cry. He's like, it's gonna be so bad. They gotta send me to the principal's office.
Yeah, exactly. Bro, it was. I was devastated.
Oh my
I forgot about that until recently. That Red Eyes Black Dragon one.
Yeah,
that one stuck with me, dog.
Man.
That, and then I used to get picked on by one of my cousins.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, I know you're watching, dog. So it wasn't even just like he would never talk about me physically, but he would just like he's older and he would just mess with me, stuff like that. I think that's when I became sensitive. I think all these things that's like therapy, bro. So
it makes sense now.
It does.
It all started back then.
So he ain't know that I'm getting picked on at school being called a Red Eyes Black Dragon.
Fair.
Freaking Joey's favorite card from Yu-Gi-Oh.
Great character though, but man, that
one hurt, bro.
That was not the best card to be playing. Like at least Dark Magician or something.
Yeah,
Blue Eyes White Dragon, but that didn't fit the description, bro.
Not at all. Not at all.
That's horrible.
So I would get picked on, bro. For the longest amount of time, I was I'm not gonna front. I was self-hating because of my skin, bro. I hated being black for a long time, bro.
There it is. It got deep.
I'm not. I mean, yeah, exactly. So I hated being black, bro. That and then look, we keep it a buck with y'all. Black was always associated with being ghetto, bro. Yeah. All the time, dog.
Yeah.
Like, dog. That and then it was just so much, man. So I hated being black until I was out of high school, dude. until I was out of high school, I hated being black. Not in the fact that I'm not gonna say hated being black. I had a disdain for it because I always get picked on with it, or I would say I'm different from other black people. You know what I mean? It was a like a self-hate. It was definitely a self-hate kind of thing because it was like I was saying. It's so you hear it so much. Red Eyes Black Dragon. Where'd he go? Your ghetto, or like that's ghetto. Like what? How's this ghetto? People like the Proud Family was ghetto. Like I don't think it was. I don't think it was ghetto. It was just it was a black show, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And
that's how Black Family wins sometimes.
I mean, you know what I'm saying?
The good ones, at least.
And they showed it from like different angles and stuff like that, right?
Yep,
but
did.
I hated it, dude. Like just in the fact that all these negative qualities were associated with it. And then being darker skinned, people, I just had confidence issues. I didn't have confidence to approach any women, bro. Like not a singular woman. Not singular.
Why did you say it like that? He said singular.
Not a singular woman, bro. But when I did, like, even the like looking back, there's so many girls I could have talked to, like, and got like romantic with in high school. Not even like physical, like, oh, we about to have sex kind of thing, but just in a she found me attractive kind of thing, and I didn't realize it until after because I didn't find myself attractive, bro. I did not look at myself and see God's creation. I looked at myself and saw like dirt, dog, like just like ugliness because that's all I was seeing, bro. Being picked on, getting called all these names. I did not think that I was handsome or anything like that because of all these names I was being called. So I associated all of it with just negativity. Like the person of Jordan was a negative person. Like that's why I associated that with because of what I had heard. And it took other people telling me that black was beautiful. And we're not even about to make it like a podcast like that, but it's about, we're talking personally, right? About our own, like, not indiscretions, but insecurities.
That and our self-hate.
Yeah, exactly. So it was a Childish Gambino song that really got me going. Huh. Yeah.
You got me intrigued though. Which song was it?
It was off of one of his mixtapes. Off of Stone Mountain mixtape. He was like, it's a new black renaissance. And then he was talking about how we help create culture and we help build stuff up. And then that's when it hit me that not even to do this, bro, but like black people have done a lot for the culture, bro. Like we've done a lot for music, a lot for movies, TV and stuff like that. And it's only recently that I feel we have been uplifting ourselves, right? And even within our own community, it wasn't a white person called me Red Eyes Black Dragon. It was one of us. Bro, you know what I'm saying? And that's what I'm saying, dog.
Even your own people.
And exactly. So I hadn't heard positivity like that. Because I don't know about you, but within my household, it was all God. We didn't really talk about race like that. Excuse me. But because race doesn't matter in the fact that in the grand scheme of things, bro. Like when we all get to heaven, ain't none of that gonna matter. Nope. So my parents really instilled in me Christianity, growing up to be a good person kind of thing. We didn't really talk about Juneteenth, the slaves, and like we didn't talk about that in depth to where it was like uplifting or anything like that. Right. We talked about it, but nothing like that, you know what I mean? So I hadn't been really exposed to the positive side of it. I had been exposed to Pac, Biggie, like those kind of rappers, but it took like that kind of uplifting, like, dang, we actually really are building each other up because again, I had not experienced that. And this is not to say that within the community all we do is negative. It's the opposite. And if you're a young black man, young black woman, and I gotta say this, bro, I'm sorry, but if you're a young black man, young black woman, you're beautiful and you're worthy of existence, bro. Like, Black Lives Matter, all lives matter. It doesn't really matter at the end of the day, but I'm talking to someone like me, bro. Like, someone who hated themselves because of the color of their skin. You know what I mean? So I had to talk about that real quick.
So there's a lot to unpack here. Sheesh, where do you go from here? Nah, but I definitely understand a lot of like the insecurities of like self-hate, and especially when we're talking about like, you know, for us, our own skin tone or skin color, you know. One of the things that always broke my heart was like, you know, you hear about the stuff, and like I don't want to get too political, but I'm just gonna say this tidbit real quick though. But like,
I say go for it, man.
yeah, that's fair. But like, you hear this thing of like you were saying, like how it'll be your own people that was making fun of you when you were a kid, right? And so now, fast forward, now here we got Black Lives Matter though. But if we rewind back, we had black on black crime, and that's still a thing that's rampant today. Not being talked about, not being mentioned, or even discussed how we can stop it, but it's still there. But we're like, hey, Black Lives Matter. Everyone's lives matter, you know, Black Lives Matter, Blue Lives Matter, and all this other stuff. But it's like, hey, we still over destroying our own people, our own brothers and sisters. You know, like, it's just wild that we're still doing that. And I'm like, we should definitely go beyond that. But I think when it comes to this, the self-hate of like what we cling to, because it's always, and I feel a lot of the self-hate that we gain in our life is always planted by an outside source. It's not initially within us. Initially, you know, when you're with your mom and dad and a couple of friends, like, you love other people, you love yourself. And it takes someone to give you a negative experience to give you that self-doubt, that self-hate, whatever, and put that seed in you. And then, depending on like how often you run into that in your life, you're either gonna have more negative in you or more positive in you, depending on, like, I feel like your early childhood. And like that's why they say like your early childhood is like the biggest compass of just like, hey, you know, if this child is like having a rough like, outlook of life early on, it's gonna be looking bleak from the future. Not saying they're gonna be doing anything drastic, whatever though, but their mentality is gonna be bleak. They're not gonna be looking, seeing like, oh, there's no hope in humanity and stuff like that. But yeah, man, it's just a lot of the self-hate that's given to us. We have to learn to eventually let go of it. And I think, like, for me, I probably still hold on to my self-hate if it wasn't for that woman that came and showed love to me. You know? And granted, it's like, not saying this one was like special or whatever though, but it's just like, it was nice to hear that from someone who wasn't just your family or your close friend, you know? It really takes someone who doesn't really know you fully to give you that release from that self-hate sometimes. Because once we hold on to it, we just never learn to let go. Yeah. And like, we hold on to it so much, it starts rotting within us. And you know that phrase was saying like, hey, you are what you think. Eventually that becomes more light to you. Just having that self-hate. And so, you know, I'm hoping and praying that those who are watching and listening, I hope that someone was able to bring love to you and give you that release as well from wherever you may be having self-hate from, because honestly, it could really start killing us slowly, just mentally, how we just let that fester, how we have that negative self-talk, thinking, you know, like I'll put myself for example, like, you know, I was pretty much fat for most of my life, and I'm, you know, a tad chunky now, not as bad, but, you know, a little bit. I was always thinking like, man, dude, you're always fat, you're never gonna get a nice girlfriend, you're never gonna get married, hey, your girlfriend's gonna probably be super fat or something like that, you know? And it's just like, you guys are gonna be looking ugly together if you guys hook up or whatever. And it's just like, nah, like, I shouldn't be thinking that, you know? And now I'm like, find relief from that now. Now I'm like, okay, like, nah, whoever I get with now, like, they're gonna be beautiful to me in my eyes. And it doesn't matter what other people say. As long as I'm happy and I feel good about it, that's all that matters. Because at the end of the day, I'm the one that stuck with that person. I'm the one that chose that person, you know? And even with God too, he gives us these emotions. He gives us our free will to continue to just go about through life. And, you know, I think about the different men and women in the Bible, specifically like people like David and like, you know, we mentioned Paul. I'm thinking about Adam here, the things that they done when they were great people to their extent, and may had that one mess up, or maybe mess up and became great afterwards. But they all had that one moment in their life where I'm thinking, all right, Paul, he was probably feeling himself after he's like, oh yeah, I burned that church down. Oh, I killed a bunch of Christians today. It's like, all right, that's one church down. Let's go to another one. And then when God's intervention struck his heart and changed them, I'm sure he probably felt remorseful and probably self-hated himself for a little bit. And even it didn't help neither that the people he was persecuting, he tried to present himself as a friend to them. They're like, no, that was the man that was killing the Christians. He killed my cousin. Or whatever, you know? Or with Adam, you know, here he is, God's first man creation, you know, like the greatest creation. And then here he is, he gets his task to watch over the garden. name all the animals, right? Then he gets his partner Eve. So it's like, oh, we have the first woman, you know, bone of my bone, flesh of my flesh. Like, she's beautiful. This is my partner, you know? And, you know, she stumbles and he falls suit.
Yeah.
And so now I'm thinking, okay, he's probably self-hating himself now because he's like, man, I knew what was right. I knew what was wrong. I knew what the command was that God said and told me to do. I didn't follow through. I failed. Yeah. And now I can't be in the Garden of Eden no more, you know? And with David, hey, he started off very humble, killed Goliath, eventually became king. He saw Bathsheba. After that, it was just downhill for him after that. After all he went through and all the great things he'd done and accomplished, it went downhill for him. And he was remorseful for a long time. Hey, Psalms. He wrote that.
Yeah.
And you hear all this time like, Lord, like, why is this happening to me? Like, he's put all his lament, his pain, his anguish out there to God because he's self-hating himself, but also he's going through a lot too in life.
Yeah.
And so he's getting attacked from all sides, like just mentally, spiritually, and even physically at that time. And he's going to God. And over time, each of these people got their release through God's intervention.
Okay.
And my point in saying all that now is saying that no matter what we all are going through when we're hating ourselves about something, God has a release for us at the end of all of it.
Okay.
And I think sometimes when we're on this journey through life or a spiritual journey, just walking with God, you have to sometimes hold on to some of these things, some things that you may not like about yourself, some things you may not like about others or whatever. But eventually you have to learn to let go and allow God to help you let go of that so you can move on and elevate yourself to be the better person that you are, to be more happy, to find that success, to find that love. It's just beautiful, man. Like when we finally get that release moment.
Yeah.
And like I know everyone hasn't had that yet though, because it takes time. Like, and I pray that you find that in your lifetime though. But it takes time to find that release finally.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Go ahead, pull up that scripture for us real quick. The Ephesians one, I think.
Yes, sir.
But no, that it really is like you were saying, that release that really helps with it. So this is from David. You were just saying that. So we're looking at Psalms chapter 139. Verse 14. I'm going to break it down to why I think this one fits so perfectly with that, and it correlates with that release. I praise you because I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Your works are wonderful. I know that full well. So I think just knowing, like you were saying, that God's going to provide you with that release, right? But even more so than that, you're beautifully and wonderfully made. He didn't make you by accident. You know what I'm saying? You were made with intention, bro. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whether
there was a purpose.
Exactly, right? Even if like you think it was a mistake or you don't think that God is real or whatever, like, you know, because this podcast is for everybody. Like, we're going to the Bible to get answers, right?
Yeah.
So whether, you know, whatever, no matter what's going on in your life, you were beautifully and wonderfully made, man. Like, truthfully. And I think that's important that we remember that, because when we look in the mirror and we see all of our flaws, because no one was made like, obviously there are beautiful people in the world, and there are people who are not blessed with beauty as much, right, or whatever it is, right? However, God,
not everyone woke up as a Kardashian.
What did you say?
It's like not everyone woke up as a Kardashian.
And they didn't wake up as no Kardashian.
Nope.
You know what I'm saying? Who was it? I think it was Kendall. I saw like the pictures beforehand. I was shooketh.
Like, who this?
What did? She ain't got no lips. Like, you know, whatever, man. Like, we're not clowning. I mean, I was clowning. I'm not.
I
was clowning just because the fact that those pictures of them now give people body dysmorphia. You know what I'm saying? Those pictures make us feel bad. Like, dang, I wish I had a body like Kim Kardashian. Kim ain't have a body like Kim. Until, like, you know what I'm saying, last decade or so, you know what I'm saying? She wasn't born like that. And not even, she's working hard now, whatever, yada, yada. But point being that body modifications were made, you know what I'm saying? So when you look at these people, the fitness models or whatever, you got to realize that you were beautifully and wonderfully, fearfully and wonderfully made. That's why it says fearfully and wonderfully made, because, like, we were made with intent. You know what I'm saying? We were made not only to serve God, but to be pleasing for other people, to help other people and to guide other people. Yes. So if you have that hate and disdain within yourself, you need to remember that you're on your own journey. Like, it's going to take time. There are going to be bumps where you're mad at yourself for, like we were saying earlier, for messing up with a friend, and you messed up and you sinned. Or you're going to have times where people are calling you all kinds of names on their son. You ain't even, dang, how they come up with that name? I even never heard nothing like that before. And it's going to affect you. But God loves you. And you need to love yourself, and it's going to take time, man. It's going to take time to look in the mirror and be happy with yourself. All these people who are fitness models working in the gym, not every single one of them is happy with where they are.
No.
Physically, mentally, emotionally, all these different things, right? They may be physically in shape, the best shape that you've ever seen, but they may hate themselves on the inside, man, because we all have flaws, and the more you focus on your flaws, the harder it's going to get over them. And the harder it's going to be to accept the beauty from within yourself.
Yes.
That God loves you, and that, dang, I got qualities that no one has. They may have similar qualities, but I have qualities that you don't have. You have qualities that I don't have. So if we just spent time picking out each and every little insecurity, we wouldn't be doing this, bro.
No.
Like, you've told me that you don't like the sound of your voice.
Oh, I hate the sound of my voice on recordings.
It sounds weird, like not even your voice. I'm just like your own voices, right? So if we were just so insecure about that, we wouldn't be doing this. You know what I'm saying? We wouldn't be helping people. Like, if we were so insecure about the way we looked, we would not have gone video.
No, we would not. No.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it would prohibit us and inhibit what we're capable of doing.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? For the kingdom culture. You know what I mean? I'm not saying we out here saving lives, but our goal is to help as many people as we can with this podcast, with this platform. So if we just allowed our, we actually should learn everything in the Bible before doing this podcast. Like, if we just limited our own knowledge, we're like, dang, we don't know enough, we shouldn't be doing this yet. We got to keep studying. We wouldn't have done an episode on lust that helped somebody. You know what I'm saying? Talk about how ways in which we can get past lust. We wouldn't have done an episode on temptation, about getting past temptation, letting people know that every temptation, it's a common, bro. It's common. You're not the only one going through that.
Yep.
We wouldn't have.
We just don't talk about it.
Huh?
It's like we just don't talk about it.
and that's the shame about it. But with this platform, we're talking about a lot more than I think the average Christians talk about. Truthfully, you know what I'm saying? Especially with our level of transparency, saying that, we've talked about masturbation, we've talked about porn, we've talked about anger, just so many different things in which we've talked about with this platform.
Yep.
And if we just constantly are belittling ourselves and saying that last episode was trash, I don't even know if we should do another one. You know what I'm saying? We would be limiting God's creation and His working within us, like. You know what I'm saying?
Preach, brother, preach.
I just really think that we should all remember that the person you're so obsessed with, or the person you think is up here, they got all kinds of flaws. Flaws that you may not be able to see, but they are able to see, and they're working on, or maybe they're not working on it, which is even worse in my opinion. You know what I mean? When we're not working on our flaws. But if you're working on something and you're hating yourself because of it, I think you need to allow yourself to pray, allow yourself time to really reflect on it. That's what I try to do to the best of my ability, reflect on why I feel a certain way. Why am I really going through this right now? And what about it is causing that self-hate, that disdain for myself? And once we're able to do that, then we're able to get past everything. That combined with prayer, you know what I mean? Praying will help you tremendously, but it's not gonna just evaporate all of your troubles.
Nah.
God's not, and we said this how many times, God's not a genie.
Nope.
Like, just because you prayed about it, yes, He'll perform miracles where, people's diseases and pains and aches and pains, stuff like that will disappear. You know what I mean? But it didn't just happen overnight, most of the time, right? Obviously, God can perform any miracle He wants to, but the reason He doesn't is because we would not be the creations He wants us to be if we just had everything given to us right after prayer.
Yes.
Hard work and dedication, you know what I'm saying? Dedication on another level you ain't never seen in your life. J. Cole's my guy, bro. But I think you have to remember that. You know what I mean? As you go throughout the day, as you go throughout your life, that I'm gonna pray for this. But I'm about to work doubly as hard to make sure it happens. And God's going to allow. He's gonna say, "I see you working, son. I see you working, daughter. I'm going to place this blessing in your life to make your dedication, your hard work easier. Don't let up though. Keep working just as hard as you were working, but allow yourself to enjoy this blessing that I'm about to give you, because I see your work, I see your effort, and I see you as a person, again, fearfully and wonderfully made, bro. Fearfully and wonderfully made. Like, I just had to say that. Yeah, I'm done.
Man, we definitely been talking about this for quite some time. I think this was probably one of the more passionate episodes, because I just think about other people in the world right now, like, especially since mental health is more of a common topic that comes up now. It's more like, it's almost like everyone has a level of self-hate about them, and it's like now we are trying to find a way to heal each other now.
Okay.
All of this, I mean, because people have depression and anxiety, whatever, stuff like that, and some that can stem from a form of self-hate.
Yeah.
Some of it, not all of it. I mean, it could be other things though, but that's a form that could make people suffer because of that. And that's because, you know, it's they didn't get that release like we were talking about, and how it's just festering on them, and it just continues to grow and rots out and damages their brain to the point where they just believe that, you know, the worst thing possible about themselves or about something else is going on in their life. And it's sad to see that though, but like you were saying, like, you know, God made each of us for a purpose. We weren't born and raised and brought to this earth out of osmosis for random reasons. Like, no, each of us have a purpose here of doing something.
Yes.
And one of the beautiful things about this journey on earth while we're still here is learning and finding that purpose. And I would say almost that movie Soul almost encapsulate that pretty well, of just like, because dude thought, hey, music was my life's goal, my life purpose, but then couldn't find out it was actually something else.
Yeah.
And it's like, a lot of times we get that same mindset, thinking like, oh, this is something I love doing, oh, this has to be my purpose here. But it's like, is it really though?
Yeah.
You know, the Christian's purpose here is to save as many souls as possible though, but also too, to make sure we get into heaven when that time comes. That's our purpose. But then we also have that earthly purpose, like, oh, like, hey, there's something that you need to do on this earth that's also purposeful as well. It could be through your job. It could be the fact that, like, hey, there's someone that you go meet at this age, at this time, at this day, this hour, that you need to talk to and say something to them that's going to make their life change. And then that's your only purpose, and that's it. And it could be something as small as that though, but everyone, we're so caught up in self, how we just want to be like doing stuff like great all the time. We always want to try and be so, like, have a legacy behind.
Okay.
And we're not, because a lot of us don't want something to be like, oh, like, I want to be something simple where I'm just like, oh, I talked to someone to change their life and that's the end of my life right there. Like, that was my only goal, my only purpose that was here. It's like, no. But then you don't understand here. A lot of times it's those small people in the background who are behind that one person who became someone great, and they still remember you. There may not be no history books about you. There may not be no museum about you, no big old monument though. But the fact that you remember from that person you helped, is probably the best thing of all, because that they continue to hear what you told them. It keeps them humble and grounded, and only because what you said, you helped them move on, because you gave them that release they were looking for. Like that woman that helped me out, I still remember her to this day. I didn't even know her, bro. She was a stranger. I still remember to this day. And I was like 12 at the time. 12, my dude. I'm 29 right now. I still remember that lady. Like, I hope she's doing good too. But like, it's really beautiful, man. Just when you finally see God's will and purpose work through people on this earth and seeing where they actually go. That journey. I can't even tell you how many times I've seen people who were so down the dumps at church and then allowed God to come into their life, or maybe a brother or sister sent God to them and they were able to change their life around. There's so many testimonies and stories that it's just a beautiful thing knowing that we were made for a purpose, and when we reach that purpose we're supposed to get to. Beautiful thing, man.
No, you're definitely right about that. So, okay, now I got another question for you though.
All right, let's hit it.
So, is it wrong to want to leave a legacy behind?
Nah, there's nothing wrong with that.
Okay.
Because I still try to leave a legacy.
Yeah.
You're leaving a legacy pretty
Yeah.
soon here, so.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it was the legacy that a lot of people go for is just, I think it's always materialistic to some degree.
Oh yeah.
And it's not about, they don't look at about their offspring as like that legacy. Because they're thinking like, oh, well, I mean, of course that's my legacy though. But it's like, okay, but do you really believe that's your legacy though? Because it's like you have to, because when that child is born, you have to nurture that child. You have to build up that child. Mm-hmm. Get their defenses up and get them ready for this world. Because if you don't get them, the world's gonna have them.
That's
real
fair.
quick.
That's fair.
And it's like, we as parents, or just everyone who's a parent, that can always agree, like, they do the best they can.
Yeah.
Like, there's no shame for doing the best you can. You can't get every little thing, no. But you want to make sure you instill the best of yourself in that child. And leave the worst out. Warn about the worst parts, but leave it out.
True.
You want to put all the best in there. It's, yeah. So there's nothing wrong with leaving a legacy, though, but it's definitely what you do with that legacy. I mean, we've seen dictators leave legacies behind. Like, heck, Hitler, bro.
Yeah.
That man left a legacy behind, and it's not a good legacy
that's
at
true.
all.
That's very true.
Like, bro, it's so bad. His family changed their name, bro, and they just fell away from history. We don't know where they're at.
I didn't hear about that.
Yeah, bro.
Sheesh.
They changed their name and just vanished.
Well, I mean,
I would too, though, bro. But like, that's sad as a legacy, though. Like, 'cause this man probably was proud of his name, thinking he was doing something good.
Yeah.
When he was actually doing bad.
I think that has to do with self-hate too, though, because they say he really started hating Jewish people due to like the way he was treated by them. A couple offhands. That's what they say. Like or like he was
There was one with the art school
like,
too.
Yeah,
or
the
something.
art school, right? Yeah. Again, we ain't scholars or nothing like that when it comes to biblicals, and I don't know much about the history of the tragedy that happened called the Holocaust, but I do know that it had to be some sort of self-hatred.
Yeah.
And that was outwardly manifested towards those people. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And that's how self-hatred is too. Like anyone who is bullying you or racist towards you or prejudiced towards you, they have something within them that is disdainful and hateful within themselves.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So self-hate can, and that's why the legacy thing is such an important question, because I'm sure that's not the legacy he had set out to create. You know what I mean? They were saying, yeah, exactly, and they were saying that he wanted to be an artist, right? Mm-hmm. And this is not justification or anything like that, but this is saying like if you do not channel that self-hatred, you'll end up doing things that you are not proud of because you have no other outlet, you have no other source of letting it out, and you just let it out in a negative way. That's why I'm not about to go there. I'm not even about to go there. Remind me offline.
Okay.
But if you are hating yourself, you're going to become a bully, or you're going to become a hateful person in general. Not only hating yourself from within, but you're going to be, again, doing things that you would not normally do because you have no other outlet. And that's why a lot of people become bullies or just hateful. You know what I mean? And I think it has to do, and we have to just channel it in the proper way, and just really come to grips with it. My dad always told me, I think I've said this on the podcast before, but he always told me that you have to be honest with yourself. And if you're not honest with yourself about why you're doing a certain thing or how a certain thing hits you and affects you, you will never be able to problem solve that issue. It's just going to keep lingering until it just bursts, bro. Like it just pops out, and it can be demonic. It can be very traumatic. You know what I mean? If you do not learn to deal with it in the proper way. I think that's something that, just talking about the, you brought up Hitler. So I just wanted to, say that. But I think the legacy thing, I think it's important, bro. I think leaving a legacy behind is important. I genuinely do, because I think it can affect people in a positive way. So that way there is less self-hatred. You were talking about children, just real quick. Childish Gambino on his latest album, he's talking to his son, and he's talking about, do you love mommy? You love daddy? Do you love yourself? I think self-love is obviously the opposite of that, but like you were saying, raise them in the proper way, right? And this is not even talking about him in religion. It's just talking about him creating self-love within his child.
Yep.
You need to love yourself before you can help other people. And if you don't love yourself, if you're not taking care of yourself, eating, drinking properly, getting exercise, we're not telling you to be a bodybuilder or anything like that, or to go vegan or anything. I'm just saying you need to make sure that you are taking care of yourself before you can take care of other people. I always make sure I'm good, because if I'm not good, then I can't properly take care of my wife.
Yep.
I won't be able to properly take care of my children. If I'm dealing with drug addiction, alcoholism, pornography addiction, like there's so many different things that will take away from my family. You know what I'm saying? If it's not properly dealt with. And I just listed those things randomly. But if you don't deal with whatever vices, whatever inward challenges you have, and that self-hate that you have, you won't be able to take care of your friends and your family the way you really want to. So make sure you're properly taking care of yourself and self-loving yourself, because again, God created you and he loves you, like, truthfully, you know what I'm saying? And we as Christians really need to realize that there's no mistakes, right? We know that, right, in life. However, we would still, dang, man, I can't believe I messed up.
Yeah.
And just continue to dwell on that sin or on that temptation that we had fallen for, especially the easy ones. The easy ones are the ones that really make us linger on them the most, because we knew what the trap was. We still looked at it like, yeah, I want that, and fell for it. You know what I'm saying?
He's like, yeah, I want that. These wheels want me.
Yeah, it's like the cheese, the mouse trap. You're looking at the cheese. You know what it is. Oh, let me try that.
Dead.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it's those ones that we really end up falling for that just really affect us.
Yep.
And we've seen brothers and sisters fall away from the church because of it, man.
Yeah.
And I don't want anyone to lose their soul because they had something within them that they could not get past. They're hating on their partner, they're hating on their church, they're hating on themselves. Then they end up hating on God.
Yep.
And not realizing that sin that you're going through or that they were going through was supposed to be their story, dude. That sin that they're supposed to get past that.
Yeah.
With their partner, with the church, with themselves. Whatever it is, right? They're supposed to get past that sin, because we all have sins. We all have temptations. You know what I mean? Every temptation is common to man, bro. So whatever you're dealing with, again, not downplaying it, but just simply letting you know that you can get past it, because everyone is struggling with it. Struggling with anger. Peter, bro, over here cutting people's ears off and cursing people out. He got past it to become that story. You know what I mean? He wrote several books in the Bible. Paul, literal murderer.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, come on, y'all. Like, just you gotta realize that God put something within you, and he put that temptation and that trial within you for a reason, or in front of you for a reason. So if you fail, get over it, deal with it, and get past it. Not get over it in a negative way, like stop crying, but just really look internally. You know what I mean? So I think that's all I got.
Yeah, I was done a while ago, but I ain't got nothing else to say.
I feel like we both were done at certain points, but then we just kept going because it was like a good topic.
Yeah, for real. I'll just say this last thing, and then I'll be done. No, but hopefully you guys who are watching or listening to this, talk to someone. Especially if you find that there's something that you have in yourself that's promoting your self-hate, or if you found that you're hating yourself for something that you have done, or the way you look like, talk to someone about that. Find that release, and talk to someone else, because not everyone knows what you're going through if you're staying quiet. You know, a lot of times we have to talk to other people on a deep level. I'll even go to someone you're not even super close with, because it's easy to talk to them, because you don't feel you're gonna be judged, because they don't know you don't know them that well. So it's like, hey, anything's on the table at this point. You'll be surprised what kind of conversations you'll get with certain people. I had some of the best conversations in my life with people I didn't really know or really close with. Granted, we have great conversations too, though, but there were other people too. So it's like, you can have any conversation with anyone, though. But get that release, pray about it to God, talk to people, and just know that you are beautiful, you are always loved, and there's always a space for you to be somewhere on this earth and find that purpose. And that's what I gotta say.
All right, that was a good episode. So before we get up out of here, you got any recommendations? Recommendations for anything, bro?
Listen to J. Cole.
Okay.
His lyrics is good.
Okay.
That's all I gotta say.
Okay, that's solid. That's solid. I feel like that's opening up a can of worms a little bit, but I think it's good. Just because, people gonna be like, J. Cole, he's not a Christian rapper. The Bible says that we can't be a part of the world, right? Like,
that's fair. That's fair. So let me be more specific here on the J. Cole. Man, what was that one from? It's like,
intro?
do you wanna be?
That's 2014 intro.
Yeah.
That one's heat.
Yeah, there's just certain songs in his early years that were just inspirational in a way. Granted, like, the man is good at lyricism though, but just some of the topics he talks about is just, it hits when you're listening to it. Like, if you get past like the worldly aspect, the curse words and stuff like that though, and really listen to what the message is of some of the songs, like, it makes sense, and it just, I don't know.
You can listen to the clean versions.
Was he available still?
I ain't got a clue.
If there's a clean version, listen to the clean version. You can find them. I don't know if they're there, because I know Apple Music be weird sometimes, or if you're on Spotify, I don't know. But yeah,
I'm just gonna say, I think you should be able to tell the difference between what's good for you and what's not good for you.
Yes.
Just listen. Like, if we only listen and watch Christian stuff, that'd be very limiting. Amount of options that we'd be able to watch on TV. We'd be able to watch VeggieTales a lot. But besides that, I'm not too sure what else.
Maybe Disney to some degree, but probably not too much longer anymore.
I don't think so. But I think we're all grown-ups, and even if you're not a grown-up, I think realizing God's influence on things. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I think that's the difference. You gotta separate it. You know what I mean? Like, okay, this is good. What he's saying right here is good. What he's saying right here,
yes.
He's talking about beating people up. I shouldn't be doing that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, don't
you
do
know
that.
what I mean? Stuff like that. But yeah, listening to that new J. Cole is heat. Sheesh. I agree with that. And for me, I think that's it, man. I think just go outside, y'all. Go outside, get some fresh air.
Don't tell me what to do.
Get some fresh air. Yeah.
Salute the sun.
I ain't that. What? Okay.
If you play Super Smash Bros, you understand where I got that from.
Okay. I was about
he
to
don't
say.
get that because he fell off the game though. But We Fit Trainer.
That game sucks. He said fall off the sun. Was it like downward facing dog or something like that?
Nah,
it's too much. Okay.
If you know, you know. If you don't know, then just forget it.
Okay, for sure. I'm weak. All right, y'all. So that'll do it for this episode of the Parable Preacher podcast. Any final thoughts? Anything else you want to add real quick?
No, just the plugs. Like us on Instagram. Follow us as well. Like us and follow us on Facebook. Mm-hmm. Like us on Twitter. We got the YouTube page, so like us on YouTube. Follow that. Don't forget to ring the bell for the next videos coming up, so you get all the notifications when they come in. Oh, that's not professional. And follow us and join the Parable Squad on ParablePreacher.com.
You say TikTok?
Oh, I missed TikTok. I forgot. My bad. TikTok too. We got TikToks
are back. Yeah, TikToks are back.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Heck a week. All right, y'all. So that'll do it for this episode of the Parable Preacher podcast. I'm Jordan. I'm Jordan. TTFN. Ta-ta for now.
Peace. Failure. Peace.